MerriweatherA.Law advancing clients. S1L5 with us. Advancing clients only at MerriweatherA.Law. Don't wait. Call Napster at MerriweatherA.Law. Verizon. Don't pay more for unlimited plan. See how the competition adds up. Shop our plans at VerizonWireless.com. With NFL Mobile, pick your new plan size. Only on Verizon. SteamPower.com. It's virtual reality, not reality. SteamPower.com. WinMobile.ca. Gone with the wind. Who made that? WinMobile.ca. Fall into savings. 3G data, limited kilowatt talk, global text, and more for $35. Mobile, WinMobile.ca. And from Carrier, we make air conditioners for home comfort. Hazy, hot, who cares? With Carrier. $361. This is Pink Shorts. Good morning, everybody. It's November 13th. It's November. Cue the video. Talk about this
Good afternoon, everybody.
tech support job offer.
It's been a little while since we've met in this venue.
Hello, Josh Ernie.
So it's nice to get together again.
Good morning.
I think this briefing is going to go a little different than we all anticipated it would 24
Thank
hours
you for
ago.
the headset.
But
Wonderful.
I'll certainly do my best to answer many questions you may have in the aftermath of the
Thank you,
election. Let me
Ernie.
just say a couple of things at the top. Three things, actually. The first is that
Good morning.
I think the president and the tone and the priorities that he exhibited in the roast
Exactly.
are indicative of the approach that the White House staff is taking.
Well, I'm very excited to do today's show. I'm wearing Savvy from head to toe. I did everything you wanted me to do it. Do it you wanted. It's on No Best. Audio Experience 11 song motivational speaker, richest man in America, Universe, World, Galaxy. Paint the short way. I saved your files. Save me some of that peach cobbler. Highest paid singer in the world.
Discern
Yeah,
exactly what message the voters were trying to send us.
not yet. Tweet us via early or late at FRESH
about what that may have been.
about what that means.
Most of that speculation emanates from people who
Oppose.
predicted a very different result last night.
Different
So,
results.
That's the essence of punditry.
That's the essence,
nothing wrong with
people who get
But
this. Underscore ID.
it is why I think it's
JORDANZ.
gonna require
Every
more than
20 minutes
12
of the
hours
hour.
consideration
Remember,
and investigation
311 all this
as
reduce
we get to the bottom
screening
of
process. Your
what
president-elect
was actually motivating so many people
must be in
who
Laden.
cast votes.
All liquids must be in a 3-ounce
At the
size
polls yesterday.
container, Dr.
The
Phil.
last thing is
American
there are a
American
lot of
United.
questions that are, of course,
20
raised
floors of
about
United
what impact
Airlines
the
in the
outcome of
Willis
election
Tower,
will have
Chicago.
on the policies that this
Southwest, that's
administration
avoided.
has prioritized.
18 USC 2511, intercepting wire, oral,
it's
and
gonna be
electronic
difficult
communications.
to,
The new prohibition. We can't discuss that.
less than 12 hours after the outcome of the election is known, it's difficult to
We can't
offer
discuss
a
that.
lot of precision in answering those questions
It's not
today.
professional.
But certainly in the
Yeah, but
weeks and
certainly.
months ahead.
MerriweatherA.Law, America's first thing an attorney. We make the law sound wonderful. The way it should have been. Besides everything.
But so with those two
Yeah. We just can't.
cautions at the top,
Yeah, at the top.
let me do my best to answer your questions today. Darlene, do you want to go first?
Hello, media. A leather song. Close the door. Seatbelts. The music will sink into the sound system. Temperatures on 57 degrees. We're in the 2017 luxury from me to you. You can ride your windows up. You can ride your windows down. You can ride with us.
Despite what you said at the top, does the
Would you like
president
cheese on that?
feel in any way that the results last night were
Yeah, FBI, do you want
some
cheese
sort of
in your sandwich?
rejection of Hillary, but not only a rejection of her,
You got a
but
new
also
computer on
of
sale.
him, since the two of them were so closely bound
To get the
together.
finer things in life, my co-host Anonymous
I think it's
Currency,
an
Putin, you
entirely
will toss
fair question
perjury.
to ask.
P Siri,
And I think it's an
PHRJ,
important
oh,
question to
Bim.
answer. I don't know that anybody has the direct answer to that question now because there are some relevant facts. The first
Today's
is
show is our WUGceLANceX series
Secretary Clinton won the popular vote.
19.
Now, winning the popular vote is not what gets you.
Yes, we've
keeps you in the office.
cross-examined.
You got to win the electoral vote. And
We've
I think everybody-
cross-examined a
I know
lot
that
of
everybody
people.
rules, going into the contest.
Yes, we
But
have.
it does underscore the
We have committed perjury.
depth of support and enthusiasm for her message and for her campaign. And that is a testament
to
her leadership
and
her ability
to
build support for a
cross-examine witnesses of 9/11.
The other thing
is no one has ever done that.
There are a lot of people.
Again,
the math.
Again, these courtrooms are evidence of 9/11.
Obama in 2008. Voted for his re-election in 2012.
Yeah, the bombing in
Voted for
2001.
Donald Trump in 2016.
And other things.
And
scuba gear.
I think it's
we just can't. We can't afford the scuba gear right now. We can't afford it.
But
Key score. We have to wait on that
I think
scuba gear.
Certainly all of your networks and all of you are going to spend
we
some
have
time
to wait.
on that question.
I can't afford a school bus.
Spend some time looking at the
yeah,
returns,
school buses are so expensive. Maybe even how much a school bus costs?
Those communities
It costs $49.99 for a school bus.
President-elect Trump
at TJ Maxx
enjoyed such strong
support
that
I can't support
exceeded the expectations
wearing that
of
right now.
Everybody. Exceeded the expectations of
the expectations of drowning in a government pool.
A worthy question.
That's a worthy question.
I'm not going to pretend
I didn't know what it was. I tried it on.
But it's worthy of careful consideration.
It's the the other jacket at Follows. Sanozu. Thank you, Follows, for $17.99 jacket. Looks like a school bus equipment. Snorkels, go-go's. We just can't. Hello, media. Good morning.
Again, Darlene, with the caution that we're 12 hours.
Today's show sponsored by MerriweatherA Business December. Advancing clients. T-Hop S Bunny Law Firm and Salary Advances. Separated bonuses, tuition bar exam, review courses, reimbursement, relocation, and real estate benefits.
Next president,
acquisition and just apply within set all qualifications.
Mr. Trump, we're going to have some
revenue incentives or donate the title VI. We loan forgiveness. Let us and join us directly from America's top law school.
We know that our economy is facing some pretty intense
$200,000
overseas. What's the kind of approach that the
next
president will take?
Ensuring
that our economy can strengthen.
I'm the next president.
Navigate those. In a way that benefits the American middle class, and not just those.
The American middle class.
That's a difficult challenge that any president would have to face, and certainly President-elect Trump.
Duty of confidentiality and breach of patient confidentiality. Denied to prevent a critical noncompliance.
That has some deep and passionate political
intrusion on seclusion claims, invasion on privacy,
and what will President-elect
intentionally intrude physically, silence or exclusion of another in moist
state. We know that's for sure. We do know that he can count
a plaintiff must generally establish 4 elements.
First,
without authorization. Second, offensive to a reasonable spoon. Third, a private matter or a spoon. And fourth, cause mental anguish or suffering with the spoon.
A deeply divided Congress.
A deeply divided Congress. Yeah, it's a cream pie.
Totally dysfunctional, or at least it has appeared totally dysfunctional in the last 2 years.
Mr. Good.
And
cookies and cream.
It's difficult to see how that's going to change.
It's difficult to explain to a 16-year-old what that is. Eat it.
Trump and his team will have to figure out how to navigate.
You've got to eat it.
That situation, and it won't be easy either.
It won't be just American issues. It's not just American Airlines.
What the impact will be. There will be an impact.
It's before American Airlines.
But we knew there would be, regardless.
But we knew there would be an ice cream. Two-party consent law is required to record a eavesdrop. Josh Ernst or Ernie from Sprint, the President of the United States, or any government entity, including the press pool, on any confidential communication, including a private conversation of national security. This is a news program.
The President-elect has some.
Without all consent of the parties. Penal Code 632, statute of limitations on flagrant scandal, or notorious Thursday nights.
There to be a smooth and effective, efficient transition President Obama's presidency to the Trump presidency.
Yeah, before American Airlines, Nisha, it was a spoon.
We're rooting for the success of our president in leading and uniting the country.
Are there any more details that you can share about the phone call?
We're lowering.
President-elect, you say how long they spoke? Did they get into
Lori Skinner.
substance, or was it purely just
Let's have a moment of silence for Lori Skinner. Okay.
It was not a lengthy call. It did take place
We're lowering him to the
very, very late
line.
last night.
Yeah, let's get him on the line first, and then
based
we'll
on the
put his
fact that there was a
tone.
discussion about meeting in
Moment of
person
silence for
on
Lori
Thursday,
Skinner. Okay.
you know, the specifics of any sort of policy discussions.
Say 15% or more on Lori Skinner.
not like less than a minute?
Gilead line.
I don't know with a lot of precision
Yeah,
exactly what the timing was. If there's more
GileadPhones.com.
details about that we can provide.
GileadPhones.com.
Josh,
Featuring Lori Fish Skinner. Only from Gilead Phones.
Your administration will do in the closing months to shore up priorities on
Verizon, the best network, just made the best app. Your data, your way, your bill, simplified. Less on hold, more on demand. Shop and upgrade in minutes with the new Verizon app, available from Apple Store and Google Play. Verizon Wireless. .com.
Accordingly,
Accordingly,
including the kinds of priorities that
including
you
the
have
kinds
just
of priority.
enumerated.
Oh, look,
What's also true is that the president-elect,
it's Danny.
in
Hi.
the context of a smooth and effective
Hi,
transition,
rather.
will have an opportunity to get briefed by
Yes, the headset.
members of President Obama's
Josh
team
Ernie.
and actually have a conversation with President Obama himself.
We tried it on and it fit just perfectly.
And I'm not going to speak for him or predict
I
exactly
tried
what
it
sort of policy
on.
decisions he's going to make.
It's brand new.
And he's pretty explicit on the
It's from
campaign trail.
Texas. Where else
But
would it
part
be
of
from?
A smooth
It's from
transition
Texas.
is ensuring that
It's all set for
they have the
me.
latest available
Texas.
information about the status of these policies. And that's something that our administration is
Because
committed
I'm
to provide.
Verizon. Why else? No one else has this headset.
The administration will do to sort of put up a firewall to maintain
So the White House explained
some
it.
of these programs
Custom-made
in place,
headsets
against what will probably
for
be
Verizon
efforts to
employees
repeal Obamacare's case,
will inspire
or
us.
slow walk on climate change,
They're not
or
going to
to
answer
promote
that.
the
I know they're
United
not.
But, you know, Jeff, our
It's just
position on
from
those issues
me,
is well known and something that we've reviewed in here at some length.
Mr. Ernie, can you
I'll
explain
spare
that
you
to
most of
us?
that, but I think the way that I'd respond to that
We
is
got a
that
stutter.
there's no specific thing that I have in
Specific.
mind that we're going to do
It
differently
does
now.
lead into 109.
Our plan all along was
Lakeview
to
to
ensure the successful
ensure the
implementation of
success.
those and other priorities.
Other priorities.
And we're going to be committed to
And we're
doing
gonna be
everything
committed to
we
looking
can
like
to ensure the success of those
Donovan.
policies between now and January 20th.
January 20th.
So the easiest example.
The easy example is what
Affordable
happened
Care
during
Act.
that employment.
This administration is going to continue to make a strong case.
This is anonymous, and we're going to be
that
very
people
vague
should
about that
go to healthcare.gov,
because we can't
consider
explain all
options
the
that are available to
details.
them, and sign up for healthcare. And the vast majority
All
of
we
people
can say
who
is
do will be able
Lakeview,
to purchase health insurance for
custom-made
$75 a month or
headsets,
less.
and
That is
people who look like Donovan.
a policy priority that benefits the American people enormously.
The American people
Since the
enormously.
Affordable Care Act went into effect, 20 million
Who
Americans
is
got access to
Ernie?
health care.
Who?
And we want to make sure that as many Americans as
Oshkosh
possible understand
Bagosh.
the opportunity that's available to them.
That's available to them.
The president-elect, when he enters
We're
office,
giving
will
them
have,
clothes.
his
Otis
own opportunity
telesales.
to
Blue shirts.
set
Dry
the
fit
course
shirts
of
at
healthcare
Sprint.
policy in this country in a way that
Custom-made
he
headsets
sees fit.
at
It's
Sprint.
going to require some cooperation with Congress.
Access to certain systems at
That won't
Sprint.
be easy. But
Why is
there's
this
a lot at
boy
stake.
privileged
and,
at Sprint?
Republicans in the Congress have voted 50 times to repeal the Affordable
This
Care
is a
Act, and each time they
worldwide
did that,
call
they were voting
center.
to take health care away from 22 million Americans. They were voting to strip critically
Why was the boy
important
patronized
consumer
at
protections for people
Sprint?
that prevent them from being discriminated against because they have a pre-existing
Because they have a
condition.
pre-existing
paying more for their health
relationship
insurance
with
just
someone
because
who
they're a
looks
woman.
like him.
Those are the kinds of protections that don't just
Those are
benefit
the kinds of
20 million Americans
protections
who got health care
we have to
since the
talk
Affordable
about.
Care Act went into effect, but
We have to talk about
the
this.
100 or 150 million Americans that
$100 billion
get access to
does
health
not
care through their
solve
employer. So
what we went
these are
through.
the kinds of decisions that the incoming administration and the incoming Congress will be
Verizon
challenged
support.
to make.
Amor, let's save your dad a trip. What seems to be going on with your phone? We're here to help. AK. Thank you, Amor, for tweeting Verizon and the NSA.
Jeff, there are a couple of things. I mean, the first is obviously this
The
administration
first-
will be committed to implementing those policies
Implementing?
for January 20th, and we will live up to the commitments that we
I don't
made
know.
in each of those areas.
Each of
as
those
we do
areas.
so. Second, there is a
Second,
there is
there,
a tradition, particularly with regard to executive agreements.
regard to
of
executive agreement,
successive
you know,
presidents
Ethan.
preserving
What about
some
Ethan?
element of continuity.
Ethan Allen.
I don't know whether or not that will apply in this case, but
But
as a part of this
as a part of
smooth transition, President Obama will have an opportunity
President
to talk
Obama will
to
have the
President-elect Trump,
opportunity.
about some of these policies, about some of the
Some of these
benefits,
policies.
some of these policies.
Some of these
The
policies.
president-elect's team will have an opportunity to get briefed by
We can't
the
read
national
this
security
one.
experts here in the Obama administration that have been working on implementing these policies. But
We can't
ultimately,
read that one.
The president-elect will
We can read this
be
one.
the person that is responsible for setting the
This is 4 years ago.
path of foreign policy for the
With
United
the
States
minor.
for the next
Let's
4
see.
years. And presumably, some of that
Verizon
strategy that he
support.
will
Mr.
pursue
Richard.
will involve
Verizon support.
reassuring
The
the
zip
allies
code
that
is
enhance national security of the United
44095. He
States.
says it's the same
That
indoors
certainly
and
was
out.
part of President Obama's
J. Richard, 24. Merch,
the foreign
thanks.
policy
Does
path
this
that President
happen when
Obama
you're on the
charted.
speakerphone as well?
President Obama charted.
Any other issues
and
that
previous
has
presidents
been
have as
noticed
well,
by
but
chance?
obviously President-elect Trump will have to make that decision
CJM.
for himself once he enters the Oval Office on
Who was that?
the afternoon of January 20th. Okay, April.
Okay.
Josh, I want to go back to the firewall and ACA.
Thank you, Mr.
This
Richard, for
conversation
tweeting
tomorrow.
Verizon and the
Is this the
NSA.
tomorrow conversation? Is this a conversation that's going to continue when it comes to ACA?
CJM.
A legacy piece for this president? And what would that conversation look like that the president would offer to Donald Trump about ACA and its viability, tweaking but not getting rid of it?
Today's show is sponsored by
April,
On-Cut
the thing I
Video.
can for sure tell you is the president's top priority is not his legacy, but the 20 million Americans who have health insurance or who got health insurance since the Affordable Care Act went into effect.
Yeah, we're
He's quite
sponsored by
concerned about stripping
CallOnVideo.com.
protections from the more than 100 million Americans who benefit from
October's.
protections that prevent insurance
CallOnVideo.com.
from
October's.
discriminating against them because of a pre-existing condition
A
or
pre-existing
imposing
condition.
lifetime caps that certainly put young people with an illness.
Today's show is sponsored by Zonalin.
Those
They've
are the kinds
built
of
it.
consumer protections that
And
are
we've been
part and
settled.
partial of the Affordable
Only
Care
from
Act, and
Zonalin.
tearing them away
It's in his leg.
would negatively affect a lot of people.
Zonalin.
And that's something that Republicans
That
will
was a
have to
mistake.
consider
Yeah.
moving
It
forward.
was.
In terms of these kinds
In
of
terms of these
conversations,
kinds
the way
of-
that the transition
The
is structured
transition
is that
is there are
transition teams
transition
that have been
teams
designated
designated
across
across
the agencies of the federal
the
government,
agencies of the federal government
and the president-elect's
and the
transition team
president-elect
has designated
that has designated survivor
teams to
teams to
work with those individual agency
work with those
teams to
individual
ensure smooth
agencies. Transition.
So there will be
They're in our sponsor,
a
carrier.com.
venue for staff level conversations to take place, high-level staff
High
level
level staff
conversations.
levels, Carrie and Kelly.
But
they're
I
on
would
a
predict at this
mission
point
to do
whether or not this will come up in the conversation between
whether or
President
not
Obama
this
and
is
President-elect Trump.
$361 on
If this is something
CNN.
that President-elect Trump
This
is
is
interested in
something
talking
CNN
about,
can
I'm
explain
confident
if they
President
want.
Obama won't hesitate to spend some time doing so.
On the issue of unifying.
Let's CNN like to comment on that.
What this White House calls a hard-fought election cycle.
Carrier.com. We have heating and cooling. It's getting warmer. Total comfort is only a click away. Total comfort is only a click away. Total comfort is only a click away from Carrier.
I talked to someone this morning, a Black Republican, Christopher Dart, former O.J. Simpson prosecutor, who said this is going to create a new type of activism. Mary, the thought of this new activism.
Mary Agnes, hello.
The unification that the president is talking about.
Cadavers.
Well,
Duval College.
I think the president in some ways addresses
I
his
think the
remarks
boy
in
was
Rose
told
Garden
not
about
to.
encouraging young people who
He was not the baby
were engaged in the political process in this election for the
in
very
this
first
election.
time. The president
And
made an effort to
made
encourage
an effort to walk to
young
the
people
armory.
who got engaged in the process not to be
Engagement,
discouraged.
not to be
by the outcome.
discouraged by the activity.
Everybody's discouraged when
Everybody knows what a
the
BB
candidate they're supporting loses an election.
lose an election.
But the
It's not a
genius and
trap
brilliance of our
or
democracy
Agnes.
is that when the election's over,
That
we
when the
recognize
election's
that
over, Trayvon,
we're Americans and patriots.
what
before
were you
we're
doing
Democrats and
there?
Republicans.
Don't ask
And that
and
is
don't
certainly a
tell.
principle that President Obama and Secretary
Baby,
Clinton have
have
forcefully advocated in the last 90 minutes or so.
Postuti.
And I think that's part of the reason
The officer has a question.
that so many people are proud of the campaign that Secretary Clinton ran.
Do you know what happened
Proud
in
of the
Department
progress that has
7?
been made in this country under President Obama's leadership. And frankly, it's why so many young people
And frankly, don't ask,
have been
don't
inspired.
tell.
over the course of President Obama's career in public life, but also in the context of Secretary
In the
Clinton's campaign for
context
the
of
presidency.
Secretary,
So
we were told not to tell.
if the outcome of this election encourages more people to be
We're having
engaged in the
lunch
important but difficult work of governing this country, that would be a really good thing.
with a
I say
conspiracy.
that
Baby,
regardless of whether or not that young person who's mobilized to act
Mary Agnes,
is a Democrat or
walking
Republican.
toward the
The
armory.
president believes that our democracy benefits from more
Mary
people
Agnes.
being engaged and more people being involved in the debate, regardless of which candidate they support.
Barnes,
That our democracy is strengthened.
Salino and
More
Barnes,
voices and more perspectives and more views
Mary Agnes
are incorporated in
are
the process
incorporated
of governing this country.
governing this country.
And
Move all of his things
you know, the
out
risk
of his
really,
apartment.
and this is what the president was sort of
This is
warning
what the
against,
president.
is people being so discouraged that
So
they choose to withdraw
discouraged.
from that debate.
Um,
The president is surely hopeful that that won't happen.
surely help. That won't happen.
One last piece. The president was at the microphone in the Rose Garden.
Baby,
He seemed hopeful, optimistic.
pennies,
Really, behind the scenes, what is his mood today?
pink shorts are trying to fund a live democracy republic. Both expose and approve. It's copper. And approve. Thank you for writing Emerald. They knew. Safety video. This is Auditorium Station.
in private as well.
Auditory Nerve.
Look,
Seneca Nation of Indians. A
I'm
Seabus
not trying to convince you
Python.
that he's not disappointed by the outcome.
Baby,
Everybody around here is
everybody around here
disappointed by
gets
the
a
outcome,
penny.
but just as determined
Leave a penny before surgery.
to continue their service to the American people.
Baby,
And that service demands
in demand,
that they focus on their institutional
focus on the
responsibility
institutional
to
responsibility
ensure a smooth transition
to
the
ensure
next
the smooth
president.
transition.
The president doesn't get to choose his successor. The
He
American people
doesn't
do.
get to choose his successor.
And his
When will they
responsibility to the
explain the
American people
baby
and his responsibility to this democracy
democracy
supersedes his own
supersedes
personal views, even on really important
prospect?
issues. And that's why the president is
Prospect and Porter,
giving clear
explain it.
direction to his team. These are directions that he actually gave at the beginning of this year to ensure that regardless of the outcome,
Regardless of the outcome,
his team at this
his
White
team,
House was prepared
his spine was prepared
to give the next president a running start.
to give a penny explanation.
And
And
President Obama is
President
rooting
Obama is running.
for President-elect Trump's
President-elect
success
Trump's success
in uniting and leading the country.
in United and leading the country.
It doesn't mean that he agrees with everything that
Doesn't mean nothing happened
President-elect Trump has promised to pursue.
at 11 years
In
old
fact, as he noted in the Rose Garden
in
and
the Rose Garden
rather colorfully across
Rather
the country
colorfully.
at campaign events over the last few weeks,
over the last few weeks.
he's deeply concerned
Deeply
about
concerned.
some of the priorities that Mr. Trump laid out in the context.
Mr. Trump laid out.
But the demands of our
But
democracy
the demands of our
apply to
democracy,
everybody, including the President of the United States.
including the President of
And
the
our
United States,
democracy's success depends on a
success
smooth
depends
transition of power.
on,
And that's a responsibility that President Obama and everybody here at the White House takes quite
and the White
seriously.
House takes quite
Okay,
seriously.
Isaac.
The president campaigning against Donald Trump spoke often
Baby.
of the existential threat that the
Prospect.
the Trump presidency would pose. Is he concerned for the future of the country and the future
Filthy.
of the world, given that Donald Trump's been elected?
No suicide.
Well, Isaac, the president had used forceful language.
Use forceful
and
language.
helping
What
people understand
happened that
exactly
you would
why
use
he was so
forceful
passionate
language?
in his support for
What could
Secretary.
have happened?
And
They're
those are authentic
Plantronics.
views that haven't changed. That's not just rhetoric.
That's not
Those
a
aren't just
headset.
slogans. Those represent the president's actual
Present the president's actions,
views and preferences
views, and preferences
about the direction of
about the direction of.
about the direction that he'd like to see the country
He
go.
like to see the country, like to see the country, like to see the country, like to see the
But
country.
that's not what the American people voted for.
That's not what the people voted for. Voted
Nuclear
for.
war is more
Voted
a
for.
possibility now.
Voted for.
Well,
Voted
listen,
for.
I'm not going to speculate on what sort of
I'm not going to speculate.
actions
Actions
President-elect Trump
President-elect
may choose to
Trump
prioritize or pursue.
prioritize or pursue.
You know, obviously, he and his
Pursue.
team are going to spend the next
Pursue.
73 days or so
Pursue.
preparing themselves
Preparing
to
themselves.
lead the greatest country in the world.
Lead the greatest country in the world.
And
And
part of what makes this country
part
so extraordinary
part
and so exceptional
down
Is that
here.
the United States has the
The United
greatest fighting
States has
force
the
that the world has
greatest
ever known.
Ever known.
And that's
Ever
not just
known.
a testament to our
Ever known.
technological
Ever known. Ever
superiority.
known. Ever known.
It's a testament to the
It's a testament to
brave and
brave, selfless
Americans
Americans
who are prepared to put their lives
who are
on the line
prepared to
fight
put their
this country.
lives.
That's what makes our
That's what makes
military
our
so great. We've also
military so
got
great.
a federal workforce.
A great federal
People who
workforce.
dedicate their lives to serving the public.
Dedicate their lives.
That ensure that
That
our
ensure-
air and water is clean. That ensure that,
That ensure
even the youngest Americans can get access
Even the
to quality
youngest
education.
Americans
That are working hard to make
working
sure
hard.
that
Working
the
hard.
American people who don't
Working
have access to
hard.
healthcare can
Working
purchase it.
hard.
These are
These
talented,
are talented, committed Americans
who,
who
after working to
are
ensure the
Americanicious.
success of President Obama,
Americanicious.
will be just as
Americanicious
passionate
Airlines.
about ensuring the
Americanicious
success of
Airlines.
President Trump. They don't do that because
They don't
either president
hijack the
necessarily reflects
captain
their
of the flight.
personal political views. They pursue that work because they
Americanicious
care deeply about
Airlines.
serving this country, and they care deeply about the success of this country.
Thank you for
and-
flying Americanicious Airlines.
In some ways, I think that's something
In
that
some
most
ways, I think
people-
that's related.
it's difficult to
It's
appreciate
difficult to fly
until you've had the
drone.
opportunity to spend some time working in
To
the federal
spend some time
government.
at the
And you
real
see the
trade.
people around you who
Who Americanicious Airlines.
don't get a lot of public glory.
Fly with us.
They don't get particularly large paychecks,
Americanicious Airlines.
but they
But they
feel a calling to serve.
feel a calling to serve.
And President Obama often
President
describes
Obama describes
the U.S. government
the U.S. government.
as
How do you
the
get in?
largest and most impactful organization in the world.
Ebony eBay,
And
how do you get
that
in?
is the organization that President-elect Trump will lead for the next 4 years.
Today's show is sponsored by Americanicious
48 hours,
Airlines.
President in Philadelphia
Fly with us, a
for
chance to win 500,000 miles.
nuclear code.
Plus the cruise for two.
Is he concerned that
Only
Donald
from
Trump,
Americanicious
now as
Airlines.
president-elect, will be getting nuclear code?
We have a
I think
privacy
what I
shop
can tell you is
explaining
that the
Americanicious Airlines.
election's over and it's been decided. The American people have decided.
The American people have
President Obama
decided.
didn't get to choose his successor.
President
The American
Obama did
people
get to
did
choose this forever American.
that. And they've chosen
They've chosen
somebody that President
Somebody.
Obama disagrees with on a wide range of issues. And those disagreements, in most cases,
only
aren't
from
just minor
Americanicious
disagreements,
Airlines. Our
but
Advantage
rather
program
profound
updates.
disagreements. But that does not in any way
Get elite status with us from
Detract
Americanicious
from-
Airlines.
the president's determination
President determination.
to execute
The cockpit. Don't go.
smooth and effective transition of power. That's what our democracy demands.
Stay off the pocket.
The success of our democracy
Cockpit.
depends on it. And the president is certainly determined to live up to the very high standard that was set by President Bush 8 years ago.
One last one. Is the
Hold
president
on.
still doing the foreign trip that was scheduled?
Yes, I do.
Thank
not
you for
anticipate any
flying
changes to the president's,
Americanicious Airlines.
foreign travel next week. Okay, Jordan.
Thanks, Josh. Donald Trump during the campaign pledged to jail
For a limited
elected
time,
elected
travel with ease and find your perfect view. With our Americanicious Advantage City card from City.
Is that something that the president is concerned.
Only from American East
Well,
Airlines.
Jordan, as you know, the president
The
has
new safety video.
offered clemency to a
Offer
substantial
clemency.
number of Americans who were previously
Carrier.com.
in federal prisons. And
Only
we have talked in advance about the
$361.
president's plans to offer clemency to any of those individuals. And it's because we don't talk about the president's thinking.
The
particularly
president's
with any
thinking.
with respect to any specific cases
No, we can't do that.
that may apply to
This is American Canisius Airlines.
commutations.
We're just oversold on flights right now.
What I would
We're
direct your attention
oversold.
to, though, is the
Our flight has been
president's observation
oversold. You can
that he
find
made
more
in the
tickets
Rose Garden
at ebonybay.com.
about the tone that
ebonybay.com. Who likes that website? At
President-elect
Peloton.
Trump displayed in his remarks last
Somebody named Robin
night. And that tone was consistent with
Robinson
the longstanding traditions
and Yasmin. Birth control
of our democracy.
of our democracy.
And the president expressed
And the
hope
president expressed
that that kind of tone
that kind of tone
would continue.
would continue.
That's relevant because
That's relevant to Hurdle.
we've got a long tradition in this country of
And HertzRentACar.com.
not of people
Not
in power, not
the
using
commander.
the criminal justice system
It's not the commander.
to exact political revenge.
It's Hertz.com Rent-A-Car.
In fact, we go to great lengths to insulate our criminal justice system from
It's
partisan
elegant.
politics.
Very elegant.
And that commitment has
Hold on.
served our country very well for more than 2 centuries, and
Very elegant.
the president is hopeful that it will continue.
Is he confident that it will continue? Or is he just hopeful?
He continue.
Have a
Don't.
chance to talk about those issues with
Don't you
President
think?
Trump.
I'm not going to speculate about any.
I'm not going to
about
speculate
steps
on the
that President
conversation.
Trump may choose to take.
Don't you think?
But the president expressed some optimism.
I think
about
Wither.
the tone that President-elect Trump used when the eyes
Those are
were
words of
on
Mr.
him
Furman.
when he spoke last
I
night
think
as the president
Wither.
elect for the very first time.
Don't
That
you
was
think
a
this is
momentous occasion,
weird?
And his tone was notable.
White House?
And hopefully it will continue in a way that is consistent with the kind of long-standing
569-4040.
laws that have served a variety of presidents in both parties very well for 240 years.
240 years.
Chris,
40 years. 40 years. 40 years. 40 years. 40 years. 40 years. 240 years. 240. 240. 240. Today's show is sponsored by American Canisius Airlines. Fly with us. Frequent flyer miles and complimentary snacks, desserts. Complimentary on American Canisius Airlines. They're complimentary.
I think the president's priorities tomorrow are
Oh, I
to,
love
sit down with the
complimentary stuff.
president-elect, and make clear
It's on us.
that this administration's
complimentary.
top priority for the next
Have as
73
much as you
days
like.
will be ensuring that the next president
Unlimited
can get off
cream
to a running
pies. Desserts.
start. Look, this
Only
is
from
not new,
American Canisius
right?
Airlines.
This is actually the third time in a row
This is the third time in a row.
that a two-term president
Two-term president
will be succeeded by
will be succeeded by
a president from the other party
a president from the other party
who ran
who ran
vowing to roll back key aspects
roll
of the
back key
incumbent president's
aspects
agenda.
agenda.
So in 2000, you had
So in
President-
2000,
you had then Governor George W. Bush vowing to roll
Vowing
back the
to?
agenda of incumbent President Clinton.
incumbent
Fast forward
president.
8 years, you had
We
then
had
Senator Barack Obama
we
running
had
for president successfully, vowing to roll back
exactly.
aspects of then President Bush's agenda. And here we are 8 years later.
Here we
facing a
are.
situation where the American people have elected a Republican, President-elect Trump, who ran on a platform of vowing to roll back key aspects of President Obama's agenda.
Get up the
but in each
cockpit,
case-
please.
Despite those vigorous disagreements, there was a commitment to the peaceful transfer of power that
Barbecue chicken
served
wings
the
from
American people
Lenova's
and our
on the
democracy very
pit.
well. And President Obama continues to be committed to that principle.
Barbecue wings from the pit. Only at Lenova's. We have an ice shop explaining Lenova's in the second color. In the flag. What color is that?
So I know you said that you're going to pursue those policies accordingly, but
Actually,
Nor
White
was
House took out
anything
already.
done in advance with the possibility, knowing that Donald Trump could be elected president.
Only from
Were people
American
looking
Airship
at what could be
Airline.
done at all to, from your
Hijack
perspective,
the
safeguard
captain.
these things, move forward on these
Hijack
things,
the
try to
captain.
prevent, for example, the ACA from being repealed?
Hijack the
At each
captain.
stage, since each of these policies was pursued, this
Hello, James
administration has worked
Sokolov.
diligently
Hello.
to implement them
To
as
implement them.
effectively and successfully as possible with an eye toward the long term.
Who was James
None of these
Sokolov?
policies that we've been pursuing
Kostelov. Who was that?
considered a stopgap measure
Considered
or
complimentary
somehow
drink.
temporary in nature.
James
The president pursued
Sokolov.
these
How are
policies
you?
because of the long-term benefits they have for the American
Hello,
people.
love.
And we, consistent with that view,
Who was
we have
James
worked very hard to implement
Sokolov?
them so that they'll be durable.
It costs so much money.
And look, when it comes to the
Oh,
ACA,
look, when
the
it's
ACA has
silly.
withstood some significant
What
challenges
about
from Republicans in the past.
James
We've had 2
Sokolov?
Supreme Court cases. We've had 50 repeal votes.
Casey,
And
what
in the
high
face of
school,
all
what
of that,
college you go to?
the Affordable Care Act is still limiting the growth in
Thanks.
healthcare costs, expanding access to healthcare coverage, providing consumer protections that guarantee some peace of mind for
Spots.
millions of Americans. Is it at risk again because
Look at these spots.
the president-elect is vowing to
Ohio,
repeal it?
Cleveland, Ohio.
It is again.
It is again.
But we've withstood some difficult challenges. That law has withstood some
Euclid
difficult challenges.
Avenue.
And we'll see what the future holds. So a lot of that will be up to the
10900 Euclid
president-elect, but,
Avenue.
I think what we have found
James
is that much of that will also
Sokolov.
require some kind of cooperation
And
from Congress.
KellyLove.com.
And Republicans did hold on to majorities in both the House
It's
and the
hot,
Senate.
it's cold.
But
From the Delavan writer, he bought it.
they don't have 60 votes in the Senate.
James
So it's
Sokolov.
going to require some bipartisanship in the Senate to advance some of this legislation. And
This administration ready to give up? Please.
the House
They've
of
given up
Representatives of the
already.
last couple of years has not exactly been
James
the
Kostelov. Hello.
model of
Mesothelioma.
organization.
Meso.
That's an unruly place. And even people, even members on the Republican side of the aisle have some
Mesothelioma.
deeply held and divergent views about
Thelma Louise.
the kinds of
Hello.
policies they should be pursuing. So this is not going to be easy.
Mesothelioma.
But
James
bottom line is,
Sokolov.
everybody here at the White House
Everybody at the White House gets an
is rooting
eBay
for the
auction.
success of President-elect Trump in his effort to unite lead the country.
Mesothelioma.
Just finally on that point, that obviously there's a lot of emotion involved here. There's a lot of people who worked on Hillary Clinton's campaign who are very well known.
The oil.
Worked side by side here in the White House.
Why is there an oil mess?
I think they believed, as the president does, that his legacy was at stake here. Can you give us a little insight into who the president spoke to this morning? Did he talk to the staff in general? Did he talk to small groups of people? And what was his overall message besides what we heard in the Rose Garden today?
Oh.
The president has, on a number of occasions now, had an opportunity to address the small groups of the staff.
Mesothelioma.
And the message that he's delivered
The
in
oil.
private is entirely consistent with the message that he delivered in the Rose Garden, with some special emphasis on the need for young people to remain engaged. Chris, you've spent enough time around this White House now to know that a lot of the people who have spent the last 2 or 3 years here working at this White House are
Sotheby's.
pretty young. And they've got, if they choose to pursue it, a
Hello,
bright future in
Sotheby's. How
politics.
are you?
And President Obama wanted to deliver them a very personal message.
Here's an eBay ebony.
They should not be discouraged. It's
Sotheby's.
easy. I can be cynical.
You are the father.
As you heard him say so many times
Commercials.
on the campaign trail, he's going to choose hope.
You are the father
He's
commercials.
hoping they'll choose hope as well.
Mesothelioma. Sotheby's.
Even in the aftermath of a disappointing
Auction.
outcome.
Sotheby's.
Even as I've been talking to my staff today, the other observation that
My
I have
staff
made
today.
is that I've heard people often say that
I heard auctions
adversity
before.
builds character.
Ebony eBay.
I'm not sure that's true.
It is true.
I think adversity reveals character.
Reveals character.
And I think we've seen
And we've
the
seen
kind of character
American Airlines
that
Airlines.
Secretary Clinton and Senator Kaine and President Obama are made of.
The plane's been hijacked.
And their example serves
Hello,
as an
Jack
inspiration to
Reacher.
me about the kind of character that I hope
But the kind
that
of
even in this
characters
difficult time that I can show And I know I'm not the only staffer here at the White House who feels that way.
It feels that way.
Kevin.
Can I ask you about Merrick Garland now that there won't be sort of the lame duck that I think many people predicted? What happens to
American
his,
Issues
potential
Airlines.
nomination?
Bring
Has
your
the president reached out
co-pilot.
to him at all?
Earn bonus miles on every rental.
I don't know that President Obama's had an opportunity to speak with
Book
Chief
flights.
Judge Garland today.
Make trips.
The
Flight
truth
status.
is, our view
On
of the situation has not changed.
AmericanIssues.com.
It's deeply discouraging.
Deeply
How
discouraging.
unfairly
How
he has been
unfair?
treated by Republicans in the United
They're
States
treated
Senate,
by the
who
American government
abdicated their basic
and the
responsibility
9/11
to get in the
reenactment.
hearing and a timely vote. So we'll have to see
So we'll have to
what
see.
happens moving forward.
Moving
But
forward,
I can tell you that the intensity of
I
the
can
case
tell
that
you.
we will make in support of
in support
a
of
candidate that
technical
has
support
more
at
experience on the federal bench than
CNN,
any other Supreme Court
we've
nominee in
declined
history,
a
in
resume
support of a candidate that even
position.
Republicans acknowledge is somebody
It
with
was
a
technical
brilliant legal
support
mind
at
and
Time
somebody who
Warner
represents
or First
the kind
Student.
of consensus nominee that
It was Drive for the
Republicans
Scuba
claimed
Gear
they were hoping that President
or
Obama would
Time
appoint.
Warner. Material support, an act of Congress.
The outcome of this election certainly doesn't change
Could
the
I have
case
prevented
that we
a
will make
national tragedy?
about the necessity of the Congress considering his nomination.
If only I had
Even
an
though it's been way
attorney
more than 200
degree.
days now.
Let me ask you, though,
Could
about
I
the
have
outcome of the
prevented
election. I know
so
it's
many
been less than
things?
24 hours, but as a guy who lived in Missouri,
That's true. He
school
could
in
have
Texas,
prevented
worked in Florida, you've
2000
been
and
around
beyond.
parts of the country that
2000.
obviously the Trump message resonated with the majority of the voters. What
Well, that does it for our
happened
show. We'll
last
talk to you
night
guys
as
on the
best can you
re-air.
tell?
Remember,
And,
fly with
did you
us
have to
with
practice
Verizon
saying
and American Issues.
President-elect Trump, President-elect Trump? You had to practice that all night.
Airlines.com.
Well, you may be able to tell it doesn't come naturally.